The seed. No one wanted. In a quiet town surrounded by soft hills and ancient trees, there lived a woman named Elena. Elena was not famous. She was not rich. She did not live a life that attracted attention. She was the kind of person the world often overlooks. Yet people like Elena quietly hold many lives together without anyone realizing it. She worked in a small bookstore on the corner of a peaceful street. Every morning at exactly 8 o'clock, she lifted the metal shutter, opened the wooden door, and let the gentle morning light enter the store. The smell of paper, coffee, and old wood filled the room. For Eleanor, that place felt almost sacred. Books were more than stories. They carried memories. They carried dreams. They carried hope. But Elena carried something in her heart. A quiet weight. She had reached the middle of her life with a question that many people hide deep inside themselves. Have I really done anything meaningful? She had helped many customers find books. She had listened to strangers who needed someone to hear them. She had comforted young people who were lost or uncertain. But she had never done anything that the world would call great. And sometimes that hurt. One autumn afternoon when golden leaves covered the sidewalks, an elderly man walked into the bookstore. He moved slowly. His eyes were calm and thoughtful. He wore an old coat and carried a small cloth bag. For several minutes he walked quietly between the shelves. Then he approached the counter. "Good afternoon," he said gently. Eleanor smiled. "Good afternoon." The old man reached into his bag and took out something very small, a seed. He placed it on the counter. Elena looked at it with curiosity. "What is this?" The old man smiled. "A special seed." Elena chuckled softly. "There are millions of seeds in the world." "Yes," the man replied, "but very few people choose to plant them." Elena leaned forward. "Why give it to me?" The old man looked at her with deep eyes, as if he could see something hidden inside her. "Because you still doubt your value." Elena felt something shift inside her chest. "How would you know that?" she asked quietly. The man shrugged gently. "Sometimes the quietest hearts carry the heaviest questions." Elena picked up the seed and rolled it between her fingers. "What am I supposed to do with it?" "Plant it," the man said. "Take care of it, and watch what happens." Elena looked puzzled. "What will grow from it?" The old man smiled. "That depends on the one who plants it." Then he picked up his bag and slowly walked out of the bookstore. Eleanor never saw him again. For several days the seed sat on the counter. Every time Eleanor looked at it, she thought the same thing. It's just a seed. Yet something inside her would not let her throw it away. One evening after closing the bookstore, Elena walked to a small park nearby. There was a forgotten corner where almost no one passed. The ground was hard and dry. Still, Elena knelt down and dug a small hole using a stick. She placed the seed inside, covered it with soil, and whispered quietly, "Well, let's see what happens." Days passed. Nothing happened. Weeks passed. Still nothing. Elena began to think the whole thing had been foolish, but for some reason, every morning before opening the bookstore, she walked to the park and poured a little water on that patch of earth. One morning, almost a month later, something appeared, a tiny green sprout, so fragile it looked like the wind might break it. Elena knelt beside it, and for the first time in many days, she smiled. Something warm awakened in her heart. Months passed. The little sprout grew. It became a small plant, then a young tree. People began sitting near it. Children played around it. Couples talked beneath its growing branches. An elderly man started bringing his lunch there every day. A young woman began reading books under its shade. Elena watched all of this quietly. One afternoon a small boy approached her. "Excuse me," he said. "Yes? Did you plant this tree?" Elena hesitated. "Well, I suppose I did." The boy smiled brightly. "Thank you." It was such a simple word, but something inside Elena changed forever. For the first time in many years, she understood something. The world is not always changed by big things. Sometimes it changes because of something small, a seed, a gesture, a word, an act of kindness. Years passed. The tree grew strong and wide. People began calling it the tree of hope. No one remembered who had planted it, but Elena knew. And one day she understood the lesson she had been searching for her whole life. Greatness is not always visible. There are people who change the world quietly, people who listen when someone needs to be heard, people who offer a word of encouragement, people who plant seeds of hope. One evening, many years later, Elena sat beneath the great tree. The wind moved gently through the leaves. She closed her eyes and remembered the old man. Then she finally understood the truth. Life is not about doing something enormous. It is about planting seeds of goodness in the hearts of others, because a small seed can become a forest, and a small word can change a life. Before leaving the park that day, Elena placed her hand on the tree trunk and whispered, "Thank you," because she finally understood something that had taken her many years to learn. Her life had never been small. She had lived a life that planted, and planting goodness is one of the most powerful things a human being can do. So today, I want to leave you with a question. How many seeds have you planted without even realizing it? Maybe a word you spoke lifted someone up. Maybe a small kindness stopped someone from giving up. Maybe your simple presence made someone feel less alone. Never underestimate small things, because often, small things transform the world. If this story touched your heart, remember one word from today. Seed. Plant one today, with a kind word, with a gesture of love, with an act of compassion. And if you enjoy stories that speak to the soul, subscribe to this channel and join this community of hope and light. Because every story can become a seed.